Page 34, Fiddle Tune. At the top of the page, they are covering what they call 3 important notes. I think that's a little misleading because all notes are important. These are not more important than any other note. These just happen to be the notes we're working on right now. You have the F, we've had that before, that's the F below middle C. Then you've had middle C, and you get it in bass and treble clef both. And then you have the G above middle C. Those are the notes we've had so far. You need to get to where you can see it in the music and instantly just know what the note is. You don't have to figure it out. And in Fiddle Tune we are using these 3 notes. Sometimes it's 1 note at a time. Sometimes it's 2 notes together. And the hands are playing. It's like, look at the second line there in the first measure. The left hand plays the first 2 notes, and then the right hand gets a note, and then the left hand gets a note. And that's a little tricky because now you got to balance the hands out. It needs to sound like one hand played it all. So you have to balance the hands out. You don't want one hand to be really loud and the other one really soft in this situation. There's times when you do want that, but not here. In Fiddle Tune, we cover all these symbols, and there's a couple symbols we need to talk about, just so I know you've at least covered them. The first one is the half rest. We've already talked about a whole rest. That's the box. Look at the beginning of this in the upper staff, that little box for the measure. That's a whole rest. It covers the whole measure, or the equivalent of 4 quarter notes or quarter rests, whatever. It's fine. You get that in various places across the first line. Look at the second line. At the beginning of the staff, in the upper staff, there's another box. But it's not the same. It looks similar, but it's not the same because this box sits on the line. In the first line, the box was below the line. That's the difference. That's important. In the second line, that's a half rest. Same as a half note, or the same as 2 quarter notes, or 2 quarter rests, whatever. It gets 2 counts in common time, or 4/4 time. It gets 2 counts. Then the other symbol is, look in that same measure on the last beat, you get that squiggly thing. That's called a quarter rest. That's the same as a quarter note, except you're quiet. And it gets the same number of beats as a quarter note. 1 beat here in this piece, in common time. And so those symbols you need to be aware of because you need to be quiet. It means in that measure, at the beginning of the measure, the right hand is quiet for the first 2 counts while the left hand plays these 2 notes. And then in the third beat, in the third count, then the left hand has to be quiet because it has a quarter rest, and the right hand gets a note. And then in the last beat, the left hand gets the note, the right hand has a quarter rest, it has to be quiet. So it lines up very nicely when you look at it, and every beat is accounted for. There's 4 beats for each staff, for each hand, and it tells you who plays where, when. Now at the beginning it says lively. Don't know how fast lively is. You can probably use your imagination to come up with a lively. I'm guessing it's fairly lively. And for the dynamic it says F in the middle. F means forte, means loud. This is louder than medium loud. This is loud. This is not really loud. There's louders than this, just loud. Whatever loud is at the beginning, however loud this is, apply it to the whole piece because the whole piece is loud. Your loud might change from day to day or situation to situation, but whatever it is at the beginning of the piece in that situation for that time, keep it that way for the whole piece, whatever it is. And that's about it for Fiddle Tune. Here we're going to use both hands. So you've got to have both hands on the keyboard. The question is, where do they go? Well, you look at the notes at the beginning when the hands first start coming in, and you look at the finger numbers, and that tells you where the hands go. So here at the beginning you have left hand, a 5 here on the F and a 1 on the C, means you're here. That's the left hand. The right hand, when it comes in, it's got a 5 on the G and a 1 on the C, that's the right hand. So the hands are in this position. We call that middle C position. I think we've talked about this before, where the thumbs are sharing middle C, and that's your position. That's where the hands go, and they're going to be there for the whole piece here. So go ahead and put your hands there, or if this is the first time you're seeing this video, you might want to stop the video, work this out, so make sure you can play this and understand it, and then when you're ready, let's do the play with me part, just to check the notes and the rhythms. Now we're going to go slow here, and I'm not doing any dynamics. We just want to check the notes and the rhythms. Make sure you have the right notes at the right time. So go ahead and put your hands where they go, here. I'll give us 4 counts because it's in common time. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, off. Now there's a teacher accompaniment part at the bottom, so we can do a duet. I'd like to try that, but I want to speed this up. I'm not speeding it up as much as the book says to, because in my mind that's way too fast. Way too fast. But I'm going to speed it up a little bit. So you put your hands where they go. I'll give us 4 counts. I will play this together. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3.